Welcome to this short video focusing on CVs and application forms, brought to you by the Derbyshire Education Business Partnership. A well-created CV or application form provides opportunity to make a positive first impression on a potential employer and can make a difference when being considered for an apprenticeship or employment. In this video, we will cover differences between CVs and application forms and why employers may prefer to use one style over the other. Essential information that CVs and cover letters need to include to make a great impression, and top tips to turn that application into an interview for the job. But first, ask yourself, why is it important to get good advice before applying for a job? Ask any adult about their history of job searching, and they're likely to remember the hurt of rejection as much as any success they've had. Getting advice about your application increases your chance of hearing back from an employer. Success comes from knowing how to tailor your CV to a specific job and answering questions fully in an application form. At the DEBP, we offer online CV and job application workshops, as well as one-to-one personal advice and guidance. We'll give you details about how to contact us at the end of the presentation. But first, I'll explain the difference between CVs and application forms and how they help employers. A good quality CV will tell an employer just enough information about you to secure an interview. It's a 1 or 2 page summary of your skills, qualifications, achievements, work history, and contact details. Application forms are created by the employer to gain all this information, plus ask specific questions important to the job role. Employers will ask for CVs to get lots of applications quickly, or use application forms to get a smaller, more committed set of candidates. Whether applying using a CV or application form, always use the job advert to help you. This will tell you what skills and personal qualities are needed for the job, so these are worth highlighting when you apply. Researching the company and the job role itself will also give you an extra advantage when applying. I'm going to focus on the CV now, which feels like a rite of passage into adulthood. Nearly all working adults will have created one while they were at school. CVs are important to keep updated while employed, to show skills and qualifications gained in the workplace. But what are the key things to know when creating your own CV?
Is it a useful exercise for students to create a CV? Yes, absolutely. You will have to document your qualifications and your successes and ensure your personality shines through. That's really important. Always keep it up to date and make sure you keep the relevant information on.
A good CV is easy to read and in a logical order. Using headings for each section and easy to read fonts will help. Use precise language in short sentences or bullet points to help the reader. And no CV should be sent out until it's been double-checked for spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Your name and contact details should be the first thing on your CV. You only need basic details, such as your address, contact number, and a professional email address. An employer is less likely to contact you if it's unprofessional. Your strongest section should then follow, whether that be work experience, qualifications, or achievements. Instead of listing a load of skills you think you have, use full sentences to prove them. Evidence of your skills can be demonstrated through part-time work or work experience, volunteering or charity work. Sports, clubs and societies, either in or out of school, are also a great source of evidence. To personalise your job application further, good CVs are accompanied by a cover letter. You should write briefly about why you're interested in the job and why you want to work for that company. Compare skills from the job advert with the skills you can evidence, and finish the letter with a polite, "I look forward to hearing from you." Let's move on to application forms. Employers will have designed their application form to compare your specific skills and abilities to other candidates. A good tip is to have your CV and the job description to hand, plus your research into the company and the job role itself. This will make a great application.
So my tip number 1 to ace an application form is to read the questions. So much of the time I receive an application where they've answered the question they thought that it was asking and they've not actually really understood what the question is. Even get a friend or a relative to check through your form and make sure you've answered the questions.
Application forms will ask you for details about the qualifications you've achieved or your expected grades. Work history will require you to be precise about your responsibilities in the job role and the skills demonstrated. And they'll also ask for 2 references. One will be from school and the other from a workplace or an adult who's not a family member. Some application forms will be very long and may ask for large chunks of detailed writing from you. For every section of the application that you complete, assume that 10 applicants gave up at this stage, reducing your competition. Short application forms from large companies means that you're likely to go through some online tests before interview.
My second tip for how to ace an application form is look at the word count. If they're asking, if they say a maximum of 500 words or a maximum of 3,000 characters, they're expecting you to use most of that. And actually it's a really good suggester of how good an application is, whether they've used the word count.
If you hadn't guessed already, applying for a job can be a time-consuming event. Spending time to perfect your CV now saves you time in future. But consider this. Telling an employer what you can do when applying and confirming how good you are in the interview means that you will get to prove it when you get the job. You can be one step ahead of the competition by getting in touch with us using this link. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Whether you need step-by-step guidance through the application process or help searching for the right employment opportunity in the first place, we're here to help. Don't forget to look at our other video about different interview processes. After all, great applications lead to interview opportunities. Thank you for watching. The Derbyshire Education Business Partnership are proud to be working in association with Careers Derby.